This week on the 5-Minute Revolutionary, support the squad. It's nice to know, in these fractured and divisive and partisan and factional and we all hate each other times, that one thing can bring even Donald Trump and Nancy Pelosi together: contempt for women of color in positions of power. As I speak, the focus is on Trump's greatest hits racism in a series of tweets and public statements, and subsequently a rally at which he cooked up a nasty potion of love it or leave it. Now available with extra white nationalism, bringing out the extra worstest in the red hat rank and file. With his vicious attacks and rhetorical exiling of these 4 congresswomen of color, Trump has shocked even many Republicans into almost thinking for a second. But just a few short days ago, someone else was trashing these same 4 women. Yep, it was Speaker Nancy Pelosi. And the reason for her barrage of carefully worded but harsh insults has a direct connection to the topic of episode 1, the camps. Ocasio-Cortez, Omar, Tlaib, and Presley all dared to question the wisdom and justice of rubber stamping more money for border control agencies without any concessions on conditions in the camps and the legal rights of migrants. Pelosi and others in the leadership of the party have deemed that uncivil and went out of their way to diminish the relevance, accomplishments, and political credentials of the squad. Non-elderly viewers, think of it like this. If the Democratic Party leadership is Nashville, the squad is Lil Nas X. They, among a whole new crop of women of color in the House, kicked ass and took names in their electoral success, in their specific appeal to new voters through social media and by, standing up for them. The squad made the faux pas of dropping a hit without the help of the in-house promotional system. OC especially has made a big impact on the political consciousness of her age cohort in a very short period of time. Now the hats who run the studio system are saying, nah, you ain't a Democrat, you ain't shit. You don't get to come to our parties or be on our charts because you don't know how to respect your betters. It's almost like they want country to die. I mean, the party. They maybe want the party to die because, I don't know, they want to take it with them. So, the obvious man-baby who runs our country with his thumbs got the idea for trashing the squad from the very people who ought to be thrilled that new voters are coming into the party. It's almost like they don't want new voters. The 5-Minute Revolutionary is not accusing Pelosi of being a racist. She clearly hates anyone who challenges her in any way. It's equal opportunity narcissism. But we have to come to grips with the fact that the most promising group of left-leaning congresswomen in, ever is being attacked both by racist lunatics from outside their party and short-sighted hacks within it. Both flanks are attacking the same things: agency and authority for women of color and the constituencies they can uniquely represent. We expect overt racism and misogyny from the GOP at this point, but we ought to recognize and call out the subtler forms of silencing in the Dems as well. Pelosi wasn't actually subtle at all, but the broader leadership tack is a patronizing pat on the head. Yes, you did win your district without our money, didn't you? What a smart little girl. The squad have questioned the ethics and the strategy of the party in acquiescing to a neocon foreign policy which has abjectly failed at the cost of hundreds of thousands of lives. Their criticisms of Israel get the attention because it's an easy target, easy clickbait to blur the line once again between real and existing and dangerous anti-Semitism and any critique of one of many problematic governments in the Middle East. But the cozy relationships between both parties and the wizards who dreamed up every horrific foreign policy fiasco of the last 40 years are some kind of third rail don't touch it, Fight Club don't talk about it situation. These women tugged at the wizard's curtain, frankly in a mostly genteel and respectable fashion, and the alarms went off all over DC. Do not talk about what's behind the curtain, you slightly socialist brown women. The squad is doing exactly what they are supposed to do, representing their constituents, engaging in productive and challenging discussion of where our money and our proxy authority is going, raising the level of discourse to include provably valid assertions about inequality and exploitation of workers and marginalized groups, not just slogans, but information and proposals. OC in particular does her job very well, whatever you think of her Twitter feed. She and her staff work hard, go to every meeting, ask the questions others are too craven, thoughtless, or lazy to ask. The assertion of oversight authority she displayed with the border guard alone, this was an act of political heroism that the left ought to be 100% behind. She stood down the crypto-fascists, no thanks to a party leadership that seems to care more about 30-year-old political calculus than either human rights or who is actually in their base. What's a leftist who wants to see women of color and their perspectives transform political life to do?
Number 1, the least we can do.
Write, call, email your own representatives and senators and insist that they stand against the racist attacks of Trump and his associates on these 4 congresswomen. If your rep is a Democrat, insist they support their colleague. If they're a Republican, tell them to stop supporting their colleagues.
Number 2, this might actually do something.
Give them security in numbers. Work for the election of more progressive, socialist, women of color to Congress and state legislatures where you are, and if you can, support the campaigns of those already serving. We need to demonstrate to both parties that this is not a fluke.
Number 3, what we really should do, but probably won't.
Start a vanguard Marxist Revolutionary Party exclusively fielding women of color as candidates. Supply all women of color with bandoliers and personal stylists. I don't know, fucking listen to black women for a little goddamn while. You know what? Don't keep that last one on the back burner this time. Do that shit today. That's it for this edition of 5 Minute Revolutionary.
The revolution will not be monetized.
See you next time if we're all still here.